but I don't see enough. I'm guessing Shelby Shepard. Yep, there we go. Good check, Kate. Archuleta gets one up the middle for Marcelo. Brings the bat to catcher number 8, Paige Peters. Olsen on deck. And Overturf in the hole. Brings the bat number 22, Olivia Carroll. Pins are on deck and Overturf in the hole.
Going on for Bear River, really kind of the first danger here of the game for their pitcher Kate Daly, who's been sensational in this ball game up to this point. Sap able to come in the clutch and gets that big hit for Spanish Fork. The bases are now loaded as Elise Archuleta able to get a single after Avery Sapp. Paige Pierce following that with a full count walk. It brings up Ellie Olsen now. Actually, they are bringing in Olivia Carroll. That is up the designated player. Olsen taking the first at bat in this spot. She struck out in the second inning, but now it is Olivia Carroll here in the third, hoping to keep things rolling here for Spanish Fork. She will take the first pitch. as a ball.
Olivia Carroll, Overture on deck. Pintar on deck, Overture in the hole.
Very big situation here for Spanish Fork, hoping to be able to continue to cut into this Bear River lead. Count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the bases are loaded here with Archuleta at first, Archuleta at second, Pierce at first, and Sapp at third. The ball gets away from Roche, the catcher for Bear River, but not far enough away to really do any damage. So the count 2 balls and 1 strike here on Olivia Carroll. Again, hopefully you're able to stick with us here through that rain delay here on Spanish Fork 17. Kind of a big swell there in the bottom of the third with Tatum Hall still up. But we've decided to resume play here with the infield dirt being well enough and not terribly threatening clouds currently, as there's even a little bit of sun peeking through the very gray clouds here. But the count is 3-1 with 2 outs here. Swing and miss there by Carroll will move the count to full. So full count, 2 outs, bases loaded here in the bottom of the third inning. Gets a little piece of that one and fouls it away. So Carroll will stay alive here with the bases loaded. This is feels like a really big moment here for the Lady Dons. Really need to find a way to cash in here with the bases loaded. Big situation here for Olivia Carroll. Another full count pitch here from Daly is going to be low and inside. The bases loaded walk for Olivia Carroll as the Spanish Fork dugout and the crowd here are really coming alive here in this bottom of the third inning. Obviously, everyone that stuck around are the hardcore people. And so, love to see the crowd really getting into it. Avery Sapp will score there on the bases loaded walk. So Archuleta now at third, Pierce at second, Carroll at first. And it is ball 1 to Emery Pintar. Pintar 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to first in her first at bat. So just a 2-run lead now for the Bears over the Lady Dons here on Spanish Fork 17. The score 6-4. That one pumped in there for a strike by Daly. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike to the Lady Dons right fielder. Again, a little bit of weather didn't stop anyone. Unfortunately, it did stop our announcer's equipment as that one is rolled over to third, and that is going to end the inning. They do get out of the bases loaded jam, but not before 2 runs come across as part of that. 3 runs coming across in the inning for Spanish Fork. The score now 6-4. Just a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. We will get you inning number 4 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
All right, folks, welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 4 of this matchup between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bear River Bears. Obviously, a little bit of weather that we experienced there in the third inning, but we are back in action, and the Lady Dons are getting all ready here for inning number 4. Big little mound visit there between the infielders and their pitcher, Avery Sapp, hoping to re-find what had been working for her in the last couple of innings. 5 runs come across for Bear River in that first inning. Afterwards, Avery Sapp really kind of able to settle into this ball game, especially in that third inning, not allowing any runs. So hopefully the weather delay does not throw off her groove here. And Lady Dons are able to continue to cut into this lead. The score is now 6-4 after the Dons did put across 3 in inning number 3. Strike 1 to Georgia Mattinson. He evens up the count here at 1-1. Mattinson struck out in her first at-bat against Sapp, and it is batters 9, 1, and 2 in the lineup here for the Bears. Mattinson, Town, and Fry. That one gets away from Sapp, so the count will move to 2 balls and 1 strike. Bear River sitting at number 2 in RPI in 4A. They sit behind Ridgeline, who also happens to be in their region and also happens to be the team that they lost to in last year's championship match. So that one is swung through and missed. Count will even up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Only 2 losses on the season so far for Bear River, one of those coming at the hands of the Riverhawks. And for Spanish Fork, they are coming into this ball game with a 14-game win streak, having won every game since the opener in Riverton. Dangerous spot and off of the glove of the left fielder. Nice job to throw it over to second base. Good heads-up play there, but good speed there for Mattinson. She will get in with a 2-jacks double to start things off here in the 4th inning. Top of the order now back up for Bear River. Kaya Town, who's had a nice ball game, took a walk into inning number 1, ended up scoring, then hit a solo blast out to left center in her last at bat in the 2nd inning. The lone runner to score in that 2nd inning for the Bears. They do bring in a speed-up runner for Mattinson, who is designated player today, have that option to be able to bring in someone to run for her. So they elect to do so. She's able to get herself on in scoring position to start things off here in this 4th inning. Again, top of the order back up here for the Bears in Town. She'll be followed by Aubrey Fry and Kate Daly. Swings at the changeup there by Avery Sapp for strike 1. The Dons well out in front in RPI in 5A. They're sitting at just a tick over .8, which there's only one other team that's even in the .7 range. And so they've had just a phenomenal season. And even, I don't want to put that out there in the universe, but even if they do end up losing this game here to Bear River, they still will be sitting in a great position to probably still be number 1 in RPI, and most likely will be getting into the playoffs as that number 1 seed. Sing shot out there to left field. The play is made out there for out number 1. Little liner out to left field. Caught out there by Ellie Olson. And he brings up Aubrey Fry, who is 0 for 1 on the day. She struck out in the first and took a walk in the 2nd inning. So that one is going to be fouled out to the backstop for strike 1. So 6-4 ball game here on Spanish Fork 17. Just a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. And that's a fantastic pitch from Avery Sapp for strike 2. And has really kind of figured things out here after inning number 1. A very uncharacteristic inning for her, walking 3 batters, hitting 2 of them. This one is going to be sprayed out into right field. Barely even having to move is Emery Pintar. And good throw over to third to keep the speed-up runner there at second base. So now 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning after the fly out to Emery Pintar. Brings up number 3 hitter, Kate Daly. Daly was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance, ending up scoring as part of that 5-run first inning. Then tried to lay down a bunt in inning number 2 that ended up lining out to Peyton Hall. Excellent play over there at the hot corner by the senior. Strike 1 now to Daly after the swing and miss. Sapp's rise ball hasn't necessarily been there today for her, but what has been working real good for her today is her changeup. It has really been fooling these Bears hitters when she's elected to go to that. Has kind of been, I think, a little bit more of a go-to pitch for her today than kind of her typical pitch mix. That one is pumped in there for a strike, so the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes to the opposing pitcher, Kate Daly. Dons would love nothing more than for their ace to put up a second consecutive 0 on the scoreboard. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Excellent pitch from Avery Sapp. That is going to be her 4th strikeout of the day. Gets through the inning nice and clean. Strands the runner at second base. The score stays 6-4 here with just a 2-run lead now for the Bears over the Lady Dons as we move on over to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza. 2 consecutive innings of no runs there for Avery Sapp after, again, getting roughed up in inning number 1. Really feels like she started to calm down and is finding the strike zone a lot better here in these last couple of innings. Now it's up to the bats here for the Lady Dons to really get rolling. They were able to do that in the last inning, really making Kate Daly work. She kind of struggled through that last inning with a little bit of control issues, issued a couple more walks, and then a timely hit by Avery Sapp, a 2-run single there to really spark the offense. And then Olivia Carroll able to get a walk with the bases loaded. So starting things off here for the Lady Dons in this 4th inning is going to be Audrey Overturf. She'll be followed by Jade Romero and Tatum Hall. So batters 9, 1, and 2 in the order for Spanish Fork. Hoping to continue to close the gap here between them and the Bears here in inning number 4. Just a 2-run lead for Bear River over Spanish Fork. And we all survived the weather in the best way possible in some ways. In other ways, things didn't necessarily survive, hence why our setup is a little bit different than it has been. We're just doing what we can here to get you coverage of this game after that weather delay kind of messed with some of our equipment. But again, doing our best. This is 1 strike here to Audrey Overturf. She's going to foul that one away for strike 2. So early 0-2 hole here for the Dons center fielder, who's 0 for 1 on the day. She struck out in her first at bat in the 3rd inning. She's hoping to do what she can to hopefully get on base here in front of the big bats in the order here. The 0-2 is going to just miss by Daly. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daly's done a nice job of working both sides of the plate. Has gotten the Dons to freeze up on outside pitches, but has really done a good job of getting them to swing over the top of these pitches that have been inside. The 1-2, little roll over to Daly. She'll throw it on over to first for out number 1. Be Jade Romero now up for Spanish Fork. She is 0 for 2 on the day. She struck out in the first and then reached on an error by the second baseman. Ended up scoring as part of that 3-run 3rd inning. Little tapper right down the third base line. She's got wheels and just barely misses out on being safe on that one. Nice play over there at the hot corner by Archibald. So it'll be 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning. And we'll bring up Tatum Hall, who's got the biggest hit of this ball game. Well, the loudest hit of this ball game. She hit a absolute blast out to center field in the 1st inning. Count is 1-0 as that ball goes low to the junior second baseman. A changeup that is going to be just off the plate. Nice thought there by Daly as she's trying to see this work for her pretty often, as she's done it where she'll go inside on a batter and then go outside, or outside and then back in on batters, which is a pretty excellent strategy. As that one is in there for a strike, so the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike now on Hall. Peyton Hall due up next here for Spanish Fork should Tatum Hall find her way on base. The score is 6-4, just a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons at this point, as they were able to rally in that last inning, scoring 3. I'm hoping that they can continue to close that gap here in inning number 4, but will need a spark here with 2 outs from their number 2 hitter, Tatum Hall. And the count 3 balls and 1 strike. She'll take a hack and get a piece of that one to move the count now to full. Again, thank you for sticking with us here on Spanish Fork 17 and weathering through that rain delay just like we did. We were able to stay safe in our production van, but again, just doing what we can to give you coverage of this one. I've had some issues with equipment, but again, we're just doing what we can here to get you coverage of this really, really awesome game. We always love doing the Lady Dons versus the Bears because it's always a fun game, usually a very tight competitive game as well, which we've got here for you. Just a 2-run game now here in the 4th inning. And the count is full to number 2 hitter Tatum Hall. And the pitch is, I was about to say, it definitely looked like she went on that. They do appeal over to first base, and they do call her out. 5th strikeout of the day for Kate Daly, and that is the end of the 4th inning. The score is still 6-4, 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. We'll get you inning number 5 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 5 of this one between the Bear River Bears and the Spanish Fork Lady Dons. The score is 6-4, so a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons at this point. Big first inning for Bear River, 5 runs coming across for Spanish Fork. A big 3rd inning, able to get 3 runs to come across, and so able to kind of close the gap a little bit between them and Bear River, and hoping to continue to get quality innings here from their ace, Avery Sapp, who's put up 2 straight zeros on the scoreboard here. Hoping to do the same here in inning number 5. It will be the heart of the order here for Bear River. It'll be batters 4, 5, and 6. Bella Douglas, Bailey Sorensen, and Lucy Roche due up here for the Bears. The 1-0 is going to be in the dirt. It'll move the count to 2 balls and no strikes on Bella Douglas. Douglas took a walk in inning number 1, one of the 5 Bears to score in that first inning. She's going to slap this one high in the sky. It'll be down that 3rd base line, and the play will be made by the shortstop, Jade Romero, able to haul that one in for out number 1. Excellent play. Kind of was running out of real estate over there down that third baseline. That fence always is closer than you actually think it is. Oh, it's actually saying that it popped out of her glove. That's unfortunate. That's a bad break there for Jade Romero. I thought she came down with that. So it's a 2-1 pitch. It is sent out to left field. Catch will be made by Ellie Olsen for out number 1. So just talking it into existence, just knew that Bella Douglas was going to end up getting out. So it just was a different person that ends up catching it. So fly out to deep left field for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Brings up number 5 hitter Bailey Sorensen. That one well in the dirt there by Avery Sapp, so 1 ball and no strikes. Sorensen 0 for 1 on the day. She took a walk in inning number 1 and flew out to center in the 2nd inning. She'll get a piece of that one and foul it away into the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both of these teams storied programs, several championships among them. Really just always high quality softball when these two teams end up facing each other, and always fun to broadcast it here on Spanish Fork 17 as the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike on Sorensen. That was going to be just a little bit off the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons here in the top of the 5th. The count 3-1 now on their number 5 hitter Bailey Sorensen. The pitch from Sapp is the changeup that's been crushing it all day long. Puts the count now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch is a rise ball that's going to catch the upper inside part of the plate for strike 3. Excellent pitch by Avery Sapp. Strikeout number 5 on the day for the Dons ace. Again, came into this particular game averaging basically 2 strikeouts per inning. Not quite there in this particular ball game, just trying to work through it. Excellent rise ball, though, for strike 1 to Lucy Roche. Roche 0 for 2 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice and then ended up scoring. And also grounded out to third in her last at bat in the 3rd, and now she's in an early 0-2 hole here. Again, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Sapp hoping to put a bow on the inning right here, and she does exactly that with another perfect rise ball. Really starting to kick into this ball game. Avery Sapp goes 1-2-3 here in the 5th inning. 2 more strikeouts. Again, that's 6 strikeouts now on the day for Avery Sapp. The score stays 6-4 as we move on over to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. I want to thank everyone for sticking with us here on the broadcast, whether you've been watching it on the channel or watching it on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. We hope that you have clicked that subscribe button and joined our Spanish Fork 17 family so that you can be getting all of our great high school sports content. Whether you are a Golden Eagle or a Don, make sure that you are clicking on that subscribe button so that you can be able to check out all the good stuff that we've got on there. That's youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Avery Sapp really starting to settle into this ball game. Really was roughed up in inning number 1. Kind of uncharacteristic amount of walks and hit by pitches, and Bear River able to capitalize on the slight wildness from the Dons ace, but now really settling in after really inning number 2 even. Allowed just the solo shot there to town, but otherwise has really mowed through this Bear lineup afterwards, now putting up 3 straight innings of zeros on the scoreboard. Now it will be up to the lineup here of the Lady Dons to continue to cut into this lead, and it will be the heart of the order coming up here. Peyton Hall, Avery Sapp, and Elise Archuleta. 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup here for Spanish Fork. Bunch of players with lots of experience and all of them very capable of putting it over the fence and getting Spanish Fork right back into this ball game. Again, only 6-4 here in the bottom of the fifth. The 0-1 pitch to Hall is going to be low. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. Hall on the day is 1 for 2, grounded out to short in inning number 1 and hit a single in the third and ended up scoring on a 2-run single by Avery Sapp. The 1-1 from Daly will miss just a bit low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, we apologize for not having a scoreboard graphic for you, so doing my best to keep you up to date on balls and strikes and runs and Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my, I just doing what I can here. But the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike after another pitch that is going to miss by Kate Daly. Never easy going toe-to-toe with Avery Sapp, but Kate Daly doing a phenomenal job here for Bear River and still has her team in the lead here in the 5th inning. No outs. Again, first batter up here in this inning is Peyton Hall. She's got a 3-1 count here. The pitch is going to be low, and she will head to first base with a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And this is really feels like the moment here for the Lady Dons to get even here on the scoreboard with the heart of the order up, and excellent job there by Hall to start things off by getting on base. Cleanup hitter Avery Sapp already having done her job here so far on the day. Good lead there by Hall. Swing and miss though from Avery Sapp for strike 1. 1 for 2 on the day is their cleanup hitter. Grounded out to second in her first at bat and then hit the big 2-run single in the 3rd inning. Ball that is going to sail outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Elise Archuleta due up next here for Spanish Fork, followed up by Paige Pierce. Another one that will just barely miss. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to the Dons pitcher. Peyton Hall at first base after getting walked to start the inning. He's going to get just a little piece of that one, and it will head foul. Goes off the glove of the 3rd baseman, Archibald. But it was in foul territory when that happened. So Sapp will dig back in with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rips it right past Archibald, so it's going to be another single for Avery Sapp. Excellent piece of hitting to get that past the 3rd baseman. Dances around that hot corner, gets it out into left field, and it will be Elise Archuleta now coming up with runners on first and second. They do bring in a speed-up runner for Sapp, obviously pitching today, so wanting to keep her legs fresh and also not have any potential injuries while on the base paths. So runners on first and second and no outs here for Spanish Fork, and number 5 hitter Elise Archuleta digs in. 1 for 2 on the day, has reached, well, one for 1 on the day as she was hit by a pitch in her first at bat and then singled in the 3rd inning. She will take that first pitch for a strike. Big moment here for the Lady Dons with 2 runners on and big bats in the lineup coming up. Really seems like a moment where they need to really produce here, with only 2 innings left after this one. The 1-1 is going to be fouled away into the backstop. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Lady Dons first baseman. our first real view of sun here today, and it feels absolutely glorious. Having the sun be able to pop out behind these stormy clouds that we've had. Again, we thank you so much for sticking with us during the rain delay as Archuleta will go down on strikes. An excellent pitch there by Kate Daly. It will be strikeout number 7 on the day for the Bears ace. And it will be out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brings up the Lady Dons catcher, Paige Pierce. She'll watch the first pitch for a ball. Pierce 0 for 1 on the day. She struck out in the 2nd inning and took a walk in the 3rd. Was left stranded on 2nd. Just a tick inside. Nice thought there by Daly, but go down as the 2nd ball here in this at-bat to Pierce. Olivia Carroll due up next for Spanish Fork. She would be followed by Emery Pintar. Daly trying to navigate through another tight inning. Really has done a good job of limiting the damage overall of this very dangerous Lady Dons lineup. They were able to crack through in that 3rd inning for 3 runs, and Tatum Hall had a big solo blast in the 1st inning. But really, other than the 3rd inning, this is one of the few innings where we've seen Daly having to work with runners on base. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike here with 1 out to Paige Pierce. She's going to get a piece of that one. No good. Past the glove of Daly, and it will end up advancing the runners. So a decently productive out there for Paige Pierce, as it will advance the runners to 2nd and 3rd. So 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and designated player Olivia Carroll now coming up for Spanish Fork. Basically the same stat line as Paige Pierce, 0 for 1 on the day, striking out in her first at-bat and taking a walk in the 3rd. She'll look at the first pitch for a ball. This one goes up. It is a pop-up to the shortstop. The play will be made. The 2 runners will be left stranded. The Dons threaten, but are unable to put a run across here in the 5th inning. The score stays 6-4. We'll get you inning number 6 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Inning number 6 of this tight matchup between the Bear River Bears and the Spanish Fork Lady Dons. Always a fun game to cover here on the channel. It's Andrew LaRose, your guy. And it's been a fun one here, and it's so fun to finally have the sun shining and to really feel the warmth, because it's been a crazy ball game here. We ended up having that rain delay in the 3rd inning. We are back. The weather is finally actually cooperating, and that's a great pitch to start things off here in inning number 6 for Avery Sapp. 1 strike to Kendall Archibald. It will be the bottom of the order here for Bear River. Archibald, Warren, and Mattinson due up here in inning number 6. And they are hoping to extend their lead as that's popped up, and another one that's going to be snagged in the air by Peyton Hall. As the bunt attempts have not been working terribly well here today for Bear River, as that's the second one that Hall has caught. Just not quite getting it down. So that'll be a quick out number one here in the top of the sixth. And it brings up Ashley Warren, who had a big hit in that first inning, a 2-run single as part of that 5-run first inning for the Bears. And she lined out to Sapp in her last at bat. The 0-1 pitch goes just a tick high, even up the count here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Avery Sapp really settling in since that first inning. Allowed the 5 runs in that first inning, then allowed a solo shot by Kaya Town in inning number 2, but 3 straight innings of shutout ball for the Dons ace. Hoping to continue that here in inning number 6, and that's a great way to do it. Fantastic pitch. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Bears left fielder. The 2-2, a changeup that will just miss. A little bit high, didn't quite find its way back to the strike zone, so now the count is full here on Warren. 1 out in the top of the 6th of a 6-4 ball game. The payoff pitch is going to be tipped just a bit, but goes into the glove of the catcher. So that will be strikeout number 7 of the day for Avery Sapp. And it will be out number 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Number 9 hitter Mattinson now up for Bear River. She is 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking in the first and hit a double in her last at bat in the 4th inning. First pitch will miss there for ball 1. Madison will take a little practice swing and then get herself back into the batter's box. The 1-0 is in there. That's a great pitch from Sapp. Just kind of catches the knees right there for that first strike. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Mattinson. Oh, just barely missing. That was a pretty nice rise ball there, in my opinion. But slightly shorter batter here in Mattinson, so he'll be just a bit too high. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Fouled back behind the backstop. Evens up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. Really been a fun ball game here. Nice to see a good competitive game between 2 excellent softball programs. Storied rivals, as both teams were in 4A and would be constantly battling for state championships between the 2 of them. The changeup is hit just back over to Sapp. She'll flip it on over to first, and that will be the end of the top of the 6th inning as Sapp gets Mattinson to ground out, and another 0 put up on the scoreboard for Spanish Fork to keep themselves tight in this ball game. Just a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 6th inning, it gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. I want to remind you that our next broadcast will be on Thursday. That will be at 3:30 p.m. It will be the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Wasatch Wasps, a key Region 9 series. Both teams kind of vying right there in the kind of the middle of the pack, and so that's a big one for Spanish Fork. So make sure that you are tuning in to that one. Again, that will be on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. The Spanish Fork Dons up against the Wasatch Wasps. Been an interesting season in general for Region 9, as the Spanish Fork's basically been sitting at 500 in terms of their record in region play. Really struggled in non-region play this year, but what a season it's been for the Golden Eagles. Had a, I don't even want to say a rough season in their debut season with their new coach, but went into state playoffs 18th seed, but comes away with the huge victory in state against Spanish Fork, and that momentum has really just ridden for them here this particular season. The Golden Eagles truly soaring behind ace pitcher Chase Johnston. Just been phenomenal for them. And then obviously got to talk about Salem Hills and the Skyhawks being number 1 in RPI, as they've also had a fantastic season. Bottom of the 6th here in this ball game between the Bears and the Lady Dons. First pitch strike by Kate Daly. She'll follow that up with another one. So 2 strikes here on Emery Pintar. It'll be Pintar, Overturf, and Romero due up here in inning number 6. Batters 8, 9, and 1 in the order for Spanish Fork. And she'll swing through that pitch as well. Strike 3. Strikeout number 8 on the day for Kate Daly, who's gone toe-to-toe with one of the best pitchers in all of Utah in Avery Sapp, and has delivered so far on this day for the Bears. Still pitching with that 2-run lead and hoping to keep that rolling here in inning number 6. She will face number 9 hitter Overturf, who shows bunt, pulls back, and it still goes over the plate though for a strike. Overturf 0 for 2 on the day, struck out in the 3rd and grounded out to the pitcher in her last at bat in the 4th. Showed bunt again and then went for the swing. Takes a nice cut, but a little late on it. 2 strikes now on the freshman. Out in center field today for the Dons. According to Max Preps, really hasn't had a ton of plate appearances. This would be plate appearance number 12 for her. And she gets rung up. 6 straight strikes here to start this 6th inning for Kate Daly. And it'll be strikeout number 9 on the day. Well, now she deals with leadoff hitter Jade Romero, who is 0 for 3 on the day, but certainly one of the best Dons hitters. Leads the team in home runs with 8. She watches the first pitch low for a ball. Struck out in the 1st, reached on an error in the 3rd, and scored on a 2-run single by Avery Sapp and grounded out to 3rd in her last at-bat in the 5th. She'll watch one go high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. She will be followed by Tatum Hall. Hit a huge home run in the 1st inning out to center field. The 2-0 to Romero is going to be lined to the shortstop. Excellent play made over there at short by K-Town. That will be the end of the 6th inning. A 1-2-3 inning there for Kate Daly. Keeps the score 6-4. Bears over the Lady Dons. We'll get you inning number 7 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 7 of this matchup between old rivals, the Bear River Bears and the Spanish Fork Dons. This ball game is a tight one. The score 6-4, a 2-run lead for the Bears over the Lady Dons. Big first inning for Bear River, 5 runs coming across. They get another solo shot in the 2nd inning by K-Town. Otherwise, Avery Sapp really has been locked and loaded ever since then has just motored through the Bears lineup. Unfortunately, the Spanish Fork lineup still kind of looking for that extra spark to be able to kind of put them over the top, hoping for another 0 on the scoreboard here from their ace, and that's a good way to start things off. She will get a first pitch strike to Kaya Town. Town with that big solo shot in the second inning. She also took a walk in the first inning and was a big part of those 5 runs that scored in inning number 1. She did line out in her last at bat out to left field in the 4th. Has done a nice job as the leadoff hitter for Bear River. It'll be a ball that gets away from Sapp, goes high. The count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Aubrey Fry and Kate Daly due up next here for Bear River. Hoping to pad their lead here with just a 2-run lead right now. And a very dangerous Lady Dawn lineup, certainly able to close that gap pretty quick, potentially in the bottom of the 7th. 3 balls and 1 strike on Town. That is in there for a strike. Excellent pitch. Gets that one nice and inside there to Town. Looks like we got a quick visit here with the ump, just kind of wanting to check in on things. He will head back behind the catcher. Count now full on Kaya Town. The 3-2 will be fouled away. Will actually squirt right over here. Got to be part of the game. Loved it. Loved every second of it. Didn't even have a glove. So I just, just doing my thing. I only play rec league softball every now and then. So yeah, just breaking it out. It just feels fun to be part of the game that way. The 3-2 is going to be just a tick low. So Town will lead things off here in the 7th inning with a walk. So that was the big issue in inning number 1 for Sapp. Ending up walking 3 Bears that inning. Another walk issued in the 2nd inning as well. But since then had not issued another walk. So it's walk number 5, but really the first walk since that 2nd inning. Sapp will throw it on over to first and get out number 1. It will advance Town over to second base, though. So essentially acts as a sacrifice bunt. Will go down as a ground out, though. And we'll bring up number 3 hitter Kate Daly. Daly 0 for 2 on the day. She did get hit by a pitch in the first and scored. Tried to lay down a bunt in her next at-bat that was caught by Hall, and then struck out in her last at-bat in the 4th, and she'll start off at-bat number 4 here in the 7th with a strike. She does have Town in scoring position. Again, obviously the Bears would love to pad their lead here. Just a 2-run lead at this point. Sapp certainly has other plans, though, as she pumps in another strike, so the count now 0-2 on Fry. 0-2 on Daly, my apologies. Fry just grounding out. The 0-2, a rise ball that has popped up to second base. The play will be made over there by Tatum Hall, and that will be out number 2 here in the top of the 7th. Brings up cleanup hitter Bella Douglas, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Took a walk in inning number 1. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd and flew out to left in the 5th inning. She'll watch the first pitch high and tight for ball 1. So 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The Dons hoping to put up yet another 0 on the scoreboard and give themselves a chance here in the bottom of the inning. And certainly looks like they will get just that, as Ellie Olsen will camp underneath that one and catch it for out number 3. Another good inning there for Avery Sapp. Keeps this ball game at 6-4. And as we move on over to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Two Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Lance Wilson State Farm. The sun really coming out now enough that I'm half tempted to take my jacket off, but I'm still just a little bit chilly. It's still actually a little bit wet, so that's probably why I still kind of feel the chill a little bit. But what has not been so chilly has been just the atmosphere here has actually been fairly electric. Even during the rain delay, like it still was, people were in the stands still cheering, everything. Like really, they came back with a vengeance once we got back here, and so I absolutely love that. Thank you to everyone that has stayed with us on the broadcast. It's been a fun one. I always enjoy calling these Bear River Spanish Fork games because they always tend to be competitive and they tend to always come down to that last inning. And this one doing the exact same thing here. Again, the Lady Dons only down by 2 runs here after Avery Sapp really got roughed up in inning number 1. The Dons have actually outplayed Bear River since then, getting the 3 runs to come across in the 3rd inning. If you scratched that 1st inning, Spanish Fork would be winning this game. They would win this game 3-1. So you just got to figure out a way to kind of basically make that 1st inning not important. And so we'll see what they're able to do here in inning number 7. They will need 2 to keep the game going, 3 to walk it off. We'll see what's in store here in the bottom of the 7th. Katie Daly back in the circle for the Bears, and she will start things off with the ball low. Up for the Dons in this inning. It will be a lot of your big run producers, honestly. Tatum Hall, Peyton Hall, and Avery Sapp due up here in inning number 7, and that is ball 2 on Tatum Hall. Hall with the biggest blast on the day. She hit a towering shot out to center field in her first at-bat in the 1st inning. She has struck out twice since then, so certainly hoping for something closer to at-bat number 1 here in her 4th plate appearance. Hoping to kickstart a potential game-winning rally here in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-0 from Daly will be in there for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to the junior second baseman. Hall, one of a couple of Spanish Fork batters, hitting well above 400. She'll foul that one away, and it'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, if you're Spanish Fork, these are really the 3 batters that you want up in this inning. I mean, obviously Jade Romero also having a phenomenal season as well, but these are 3 of your best hitters, and that one is going to be fouled away by Hall, so she'll stay alive with the count 2-2. Hall with the biggest blast of the game. Avery Sapp with the most important hit of the day here for Spanish Fork. She had a 2-run single in that 3rd inning. So both of them up in this very important bottom of the 7th, needing at least 2 here to tie this ball game up. Hall watches that pitch, and the count is now full. Big situation here for the Lady Dons. Love to figure out a way to get Hall on base here. The payoff pitch will be low, and she will get exactly that. Excellent at bat from their junior second baseman. She will be on first base after taking the leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. It will bring up number 3 hitter Peyton Hall. 1 for 2 on the day. She grounded out to short in the 1st, single in the 3rd, walk in the 5th. The first pitch is going to be slapped over to 3rd, potentially. Wow, that's a defensive breakdown there for the Bears. Looks like there was some miscommunication there between the shortstop and the second baseman. What really should have been at least a routine out over there at second base, potentially a double play with how quick that ball came off Hall's bat, turns instead into, I'm going to score that as a fielder's choice. It really wasn't a base hit, but it does put Hall over there at first base, and it puts Tatum Hall at second. And it brings up Avery Sapp, who, with one swing of the bat, could win this ball game. She hits this one out of the ballpark. That's 3 runs. So let's see what happens here. 1-0 count. She's going to roll this one over to the shortstop. They will not get the play at third base, as it ends up going off of the glove of their third baseman. That one was fielded well over there by the shortstop. Town did a good job of getting to that, but then tries to kick it over to Archibald and just kind of gets lost in the transfer there. So Avery Sapp will now get on, and the bases are loaded here in this 7th inning. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. Every time with these Bear River Spanish Fork games, it's always close, and it always has drama right at the end. So very excited for this one. Bases loaded, no outs, bottom of the 7th. Big situation here for Elise Archuleta. 1 for 2 on the day. She got hit by a pitch in the second, singled in the third, and struck out in her last at bat in the 5th. But huge opportunity here with the bases loaded. A solid hit potentially ties this ball game. A little low there for ball 1. They do bring in a speed-up runner for Avery Sapp, and the 2 Halls over there at third and second base. So tying run at second, winning run at first. Archuleta up, and nice strike there thrown by Kate Daly. What a huge situation here for Archuleta. These are the kind of situations you dream of as a hitter. So that one is fouled away. Just misses knocking the light fixture. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Lady Dons first baseman. He's going to just barely miss, and he ended up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very tight matchup here on Spanish Fork 17. I hope that you feel the tension and you feel the excitement for this one. The 2-2 pitch is going to be rolled over to first base, and it will score a run as Hall will make it across. And this is a 1-run ball game now with 1 out. As Elise Archuleta brings this score now to 6-5. And it does advance the runners as well. So Peyton Hall, the tying run over at third base, and the winning run now in scoring position. They did bring in a speed-up runner for Avery Sapp, and it does bring to the plate now Paige Pierce. They elect to go ahead and give her the free base. Probably makes some sense, as now that sets up the force at all bases. So they don't really care so much about the runner at first. They care more about the runners at second and third. And this makes it so they can get it out at any base, whatever is easiest. And it brings up Olivia Carroll for Spanish Fork. She's 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the second, took a walk in the third, and popped up to short in her last at-bat in the 5th. And she will watch a first pitch strike from Kate Daly. They do bring in a speed-up runner as well here for Paige Pierce. So bases loaded situation. Carroll able to hold up on that one, and it goes just a tick outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A 1-run ball game between the Bears and the Lady Dons. Massive opportunity here for the Lady Dons designated player. She'll watch a pitch go outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the Lady Dons dugout is very vocal and very loud right now, and I love every second of it. They are absolutely getting into this ball game. Tying run over there at third, winning run at second base. Carroll fouls it away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And been very impressed in this game with Kate Daly. She's gone toe-to-toe with Avery Sapp, who is such an excellent pitcher. And to put her team in a position to come away with a huge win like this on the road against Spanish Fork, I mean, just kudos to her for giving her team a chance against an absolute powerhouse. Easily the best team in 5A, potentially the best team in all of Utah in some ways. These Lady Dons, other than a 1-run loss to Riverton, have been perfect this season. And that 14-game win streak that they came into is absolutely in danger right now. But the Dons have done a nice job to rally here and to give themselves a chance. The count does stay 2-2. Carroll fouled that one off. Yep, big situation here for Carroll. A base hit could potentially win this ball game. The Lady Dons would walk off with a huge victory. The 2-2 pitch is sent up into the air out in left field. They have her tag up at third. And she is in, and this ball game is all tied up, folks. Sacrifice fly by Olivia Carroll gives the Dons exactly what they need. The score now 6-6 after a huge RBI from their designated player. The Dons with new life here and still with a chance to potentially win this ball game. Runners on first and second. The winning run in scoring position, and number 8 hitter Emery Pintar coming in for the Lady Dons. 0 for 3 on the day, a couple ground outs and a strikeout. What a time for her to potentially get her first hit of the ball game. And she's going to lace one right towards her own dugout for strike 1. This ball game potentially going to extra innings after the sacrifice fly by Olivia Carroll, making it a 6-6 ball game here between the Bears and the Lady Dons. The count is 1-1 on right fielder Emery Pintar. 0 for 3 on the day, hoping for hit number 1 in a huge situation. She'll take a healthy cut at that. Count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Huge situation here. Obviously, potential game-winning opportunity for Pintar. Got to quiet the mind down a little bit and just put a good swing on a pitch. The 1-2. She does swing and miss for strike 3. 10th strikeout of the ball game for Kate Daly. And we are going to go to extras here on Spanish Fork 17. 6-6 ball game. We'll get you inning number 8 when we come back.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It is extra inning time here, inning number 8 of this matchup between the Bear River Bears and the Spanish Fork Lady Dons. Wow, the Dons rallied back to be able to give themselves a chance to win this ball game here. They end up scoring 2 runs in the 7th inning to force these extra innings. It's been a wild ride here on Spanish Fork 17. Had literally a little bit of everything. We've had a couple home runs in this ball game. We've had some wild pitching. We've had some amazing pitching. We've had amazing weather. We've had absolutely awful weather. It's just been everything you could ever want in a game, as that one is going to be. I was about to say they are going to call that one an out. That is a tough break for Bear River, as they tried to lay down a bunt there, but it ends up hitting the batter in fair territory. And so with that, they are going to say that she did not leave the batter's box yet. And so with that, it will bring her back up. Again, this is Bailey Sorensen that's up for Bear River. It'll be Sorensen, Roche, and Archibald due up here in this 8th inning. So, yeah, crazy sequence that you just saw there. Sorensen tries to lay down a bunt. She gets a piece of it, but in doing so, as she was trying to come out of the batter's box, it ended up hitting her. And if she's out of the batter's box and it hits her, that's an automatic out, which was what the initial call was. However, because she hadn't yet left the batter's box, it's deemed a foul ball, and she was allowed to come back in. She does try to poke at another one. She gets a little piece of it. Now the count 0-2. She shows bunt again. She lays it down. Hall gets to it, throws it over to first, and that is going to be out number 1. Wow, kind of a weird sequence. The Dons defense kind of a little extra pumped about that particular out, as they thought that they had an easy out there on that first pitch. But nice job by Hall to charge that. Makes a beautiful throw over to first. So 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Oh, and a rise ball that's just going to barely miss there by Avery Sapp to Roche. One-0 swung on and missed. Basically the same pitch, actually a little bit higher. Got a little bit more rise on it than the previous one. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Bears catcher. They'll go low. It'll be just underneath the glove of Hall. So it'll be a 1-out single for Lucy Roche. That's her first hit of the day. 1 for 4 now for the Bears catcher. Big situation to get hit number 1. We'll put her on at first. And the score will stay 6-6 here. Looking over at the scoreboard here on the field, it does show that they have another run, but it is still a tie ball game. Not that you guys are seeing the scoreboard. Again, we've not been able to have that for you all game. Just been doing my best to keep you updated on things, but so I've been corrected. I know better even too, but obviously with it being extra innings, there was a runner at second base, and that runner has scored. And so the score is indeed 7-6. So not a tie ball game, but it's okay. I'm paying attention, kind of, but the people around me are paying better attention, and that's what truly matters. The 0-1 is swung on and missed there by Archibald. So 2 strikes and no balls to Archibald, who's 0 for 2 on the day. The pitch from Sapp is cue-shotted over to Archuleta, who just can't quite get up to make the play. That's an unfortunate break there for Spanish Fork. just kind of in a hard spot there for her to be able to get to that. So Archibald hits one over to Archuleta, who can't quite come up with it. I believe that they will count that one as an infield single. So the run scoring on the RBI single by Lucy Roche to give Bear River the lead here, 7-6. Got one out and runners on first and second. An excellent changeup from Avery Sapp for strike one to Ashley Warren. Warren 1 for 3 on the day, a 2-run single in the first. Lined out to the pitcher in the third and struck out in the sixth. Another strike there for Avery Sapp. Sapp pretty close to double-digit strikeouts in this ball game. The 0-2 will be just a tick low. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one popped up behind the backstop. So Warren will stay in the batter's box with the count 1-2. Gets her swinging on a changeup. That's a fantastic pitch from Avery Sapp. Looked like Warren thought it was going to be a rise ball, and then it just drops on her. Fantastic pitch there from Avery Sapp for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th. Again, that run coming across here in the 8th is the first one that Bear River has scored since the second inning. Basically, all of their offense coming in that first inning where Avery Sapp just kind of had a little bit of struggles with her command. Lots of walks and a couple of hit batters led to 5 runs in that inning. Then they got a solo shot in the second inning from Kaya Town. And then with extra innings, you do have a runner that starts on second base. That runner scored on an RBI single here in this inning by Lucy Roche. Bear River obviously still threatening here with runners on first and second, even with the 2 outs. They do bring in a pinch hitter. So Mattinson's day is done. She will watch that first pitch for a strike. It's number 26 for Bear River. It's Brooklyn Pond. She takes a healthy cut at that for strike 2. And she will swing and miss for strike 3. That is an excellent pitch from Avery Sapp. It will get them out of the top of the 8th inning. Bear River able to scratch across a run here in inning number 8. They get one to retake the lead, 7-6. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 8th inning, it gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and MVP Sports. I hope that you've enjoyed the extra innings, the extra broadcast time that we've had here on Spanish Fork 17. Obviously, this game's gone a little bit long just from the fact that we are in extra innings, but even more so because we did have that rain delay in the 3rd inning. Thank you so much for sticking with us. It's been a longer broadcast than usual here, and we appreciate you continuing to watch and continuing to enjoy this excellent ball game between 2 fantastic programs here in Utah. Again, both of these teams are always right in the thick of things in their region as well as in each of their classifications. These are old rivals from back in 4A. Spanish Fork moved up to 5A a couple years ago. But even with that, they've always managed to make sure that they have Bear River on their schedule. And I love that. I think it's just really cool to be able to still have this rivalry matchup every single year. And so it's been exactly what you expect from a Bear River Spanish Fork game. It's been tight, it's been competitive, it's been fun, and it is going to once again basically come down to the very last out here. Bear River again scoring a run in the 8th inning. Now it is up to the Dons to essentially hold serve here and be able to at least score one. And if they do score two, it's game, set, match here on Spanish Fork 17. The bunt is down. And that will be out number 1, but they do get the runner over to third base. So the tying run now right over there. A nice bunt there by Audrey Overturf. And it now brings up the top of the order here for Spanish Fork with Jade Romero. Romero's had a rough game for her, 0 for 4. But what a time for her to potentially get hit number 1. Or at the very least have a productive out. A sac fly would do the job here and be able to tie this ball game up. First pitch misses low. It is still Kate Daly in the circle here for Bear River. And that one will also miss, so 2 balls and no strikes. Tatum Hall due up next here for Spanish Fork, followed by Peyton Hall. The 2-0 swung on and missed. That's a great rise ball from Daly. Romero will swing just underneath that one. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, tying run at third base for Spanish Fork. The 2-1 is going to be high. Nice job by Romero to hold off. Count now 3-1. The 3-1 is swung on and fouled towards the Bear River dugout. We'll move the count to full now on the Dons shortstop. Again, one of the main run producers in this lineup this season for Spanish Fork. Really has done a great job in this leadoff spot. Leads the team in home runs, too, with 8 home runs. I mean, if she's able to do that here, it'd be ball game. Certainly wouldn't mind seeing that. The 3-2 is going to be low. Nice job by Romero. Shows a nice patient approach and gets herself on base. So there'll be runners on first and third with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Winning run now on base. Big opportunity here for Tatum Hall, who already has a big hit in this ball game, a solo home run in the first inning. 1 for 3 on the day, has struck out twice, did take a walk in the 7th, and was one of the 2 Dons that scored to tie this thing up and send it into extras. She does take the first pitch for a ball. That one does not miss, though. Great paint job there by Daly for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tying run at third base. Winning run at first. 1-1 pitch upcoming from Daly. And it's going to just miss. And nice job by Romero to take the extra base. No contest. But breaks up the force out now at second base. And it also puts the winning run now in scoring position. And they actually are now going to go ahead and intentionally walk Tatum Hall, as that will create a force out at any base. Probably a smart move there by Bear River. Also the fact that Tatum Hall has taken them yard here in this game might be a little bit of a factor there too. But certainly for strategy purposes, being able to make sure that you can get an out at any base, probably a good idea here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Peyton Hall takes a big cut at that one for strike one. Hall on the day is 1 for 3. She had a single in the third and was one of 3 Dons that scored in that inning. This one a line shot right at her coach. What coach do to you, Peyton? That's what I'm thinking there as that line drive ends up going off of her ankle and moves the count to 0-2. I actually thought for a second I was going to get another ground ball over here. I was kind of heading towards our direction, but ends up hitting the coach instead. The 0-2 to Hall. She swings at it and misses. Great job there by Daly to get her chasing at a ball down low. Will be out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Dons now down to their last out, but certainly have one of their best hitters up in this huge situation, Avery Sapp. We'll watch the first pitch for a ball. Sapp already with a big hit in this ball game. Had a 2-run single in the third. She also had a single in the 5th as well, so she is 2 for 3 on the day. That one in there for a strike. Daly paints the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tying run at third. Game-winning run at second. Big opportunity here for a big hitter in this Spanish Fork lineup. It will go to shortstop, and that will be the ball game. A clean play out there over at short to end the ball game. Huge win for Bear River over Spanish Fork. That will snap their 14-game win streak. That is a heartbreaker for the Lady Dons, but man, big win there for Bear River. Being able to travel out here to Spanish Fork and come away with the victory against the number 1 team in 5A, that's going to be a big confidence booster for them going into the rest of their play, as they have a really good chance of repeating what they did last year, making it all the way to the championship, losing to Ridgeline, but certainly a huge win for the Bears over the Lady Dons. Our MVP Sports MVP of the game here, we're going to give that to Kaya Town, who had a towering home run in the second inning for Bear River. Ended up also taking 2 walks, so was 1 for 2 on the day, ends up scoring twice, and kind of helped to keep things rolling on offense for Bear River. So your MVP Sports MVP of the game is Kaya Town. For our actually, I want to remind you that we do have our next broadcast is going to be on Thursday. That will be at 3:30 p.m. It will be the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Wasatch Wasps, another big Region 9 matchup. So make sure that you've got your calendar set. Make sure that you're ready to tune in for that one. Again, that's the Wasps up against the Dons, 3:30 p.m. on Thursday. Let's put a bow on this one. Tough heartbreaker loss for the Lady Dons against the Bear River Bears. For our crew here at Spanish Fork 17, I'm Andrew LaRose. Thanks for sticking with us during this wet, wild game between the Bears and the Lady Dons. Bear River taking it on a score of 8-7. We will catch you next time on Thursday on Spanish Fork 17.